And this is what we're replacing this part. This is about 60-70 quid off eBay. It's brand new, plated, so you don't have to paint it. Shouldn't go rusty. Now if you look at this, you will see there's one big bolt here, and there's the door hinge pin bolt here, which looks like this, pops in there. That one out and that one out. Now you may think, oh, it's only held on with this one bolt here, but there's another bolt, and if you look at your hinge, you'll see there's a thread. So if you look in the back, there's a thread, which means you need to get to behind here. Now I thought it would be under the wheel arch, but no. And take a look at this. This is the plastic wheel arch. I just took the screws out, and it's really filthy. All this crap here, this is all trapped behind here, so I'm going to jet wash that off before I put it all back together. Of course it's all down on there as well. Put a bit of wax all around, put it back on, but don't worry about that in a minute. The bolt for your hinge, and I've got a trolley jack here which is going to support this door, is behind here. So what you need to do is take off this earth, which is here. Okay, so you take that, get me light in the right position, take the earth off. There's a domed nut like this, so take that off. Also there's this thing, so just let that hang there. Move the wires out the way, and because this grommet here is involving the sealer, get the light there, okay, it's right near the edge, so I've decided to Dremel the centre of the grommet out, and when it's done I'm going to put something else to seal the vehicle. Okay, rather than dig all that out, that seam sealer, which could cause problems like rust later on. So I'm keeping that, because that's actually glued in. That grommet is glued in, and I don't want to disturb it around the outside. Next job is to see what sort of fastener it is. Now I'm going to need a mirror for that. Okay, so come back to you later. Right, it's the tool you will need to go in that hole is preferably one of these. It's an M12 12-point Torx is what you're after, and you need a long one because you don't want anything falling down in there. And get some blue tack. Push that in there like so, and I'll put it down for this next job. Right, I've supported the door on a trolley jack. Okay, nice and soft. Don't lift the van up just yet. Right, I'm going to go ahead and do this because I don't want to damage anything, and I don't want to be holding the phone while I do it. Okay, I've got my bulge out, that's what it looks like. The blue tack stops it falling off. Next job, and this should be just to wiggle the hinge out like so. The old hinge, door is supported just in the right position. Now the other thing you need to do is that because the door is open, you need to position the new hinge into that position. Okay, in the open position. So you need to get a spanner on here and turn it, spanner on here, see that this is the locator here, and the door sits on that, and this operates this quadrant thing here. So I'll do that next. I'll just pause it for a second, like so. So now we can slip that on there. The reason for this being changed is the spring broke. It's pressed in there, you can't replace the spring, it's been stamped in here, so that's a throwaway job. There's nothing on that I want except for this little piece of plastic here. Right, now that's your door stop. If that's missing, your door will strike the bodywork. So the next job is to take this off here. Right, you will need a T20 Torx bit, or 6-point Torx in my language, for this job. So, in the last picture I opened it too much. I had this out here to there, too much. So click it back a notch. So the hole here is in line with this. Okay, I'm making this up as I go along, but this is how it's going. Okay, right, I'll put the nut, the bolt, in the top, just to locate it. Now I've got to wiggle the door around and get the outside bolt in, which is this one. So again, I'm going to put the phone down, okay, while I do this. Okay, because there's not much room to get to this, I've got the 12-point Torx and a 10mm combi, and you can nip it up with that, and if you can get it tight with that, that's all you need. So, oh, I dropped my spanner. So, get everything just gently done up, okay, gently. And then you want to nip this one up on the top before you tighten the others. The door is actually hanging on the top hinge at the moment. You can drop a Loctite on this one, but I don't think you'll really need it. It's got a flanged head on it, so it should grip. Okay. There's certainly no room to get a torque wrench in there. But once that's done, you can continue tightening this one up. Just a second, I'm going to put the phone down again. Right, before you try shutting the door, make sure this rubber is pushed back onto the edge, otherwise you could have some troubles with the door pushing out. That's hanging a bit low, that, I think, yeah, so that's no good. I'm going to have to adjust that out. So the door's hanging a bit low, so what we need to do is just gently unnip it and pull it back a bit. Okay. Okay. Door gap. Not bad. Let's have a look. Thank you. Don't lock me out, please. It's because I've got the earth off inside, I don't want it to lock me out. So that looks perfect, and it lovely sound. Okay, and it's locking on that thing. And there's the old one, snapped off it. So we can bin that now. That goes in the scrap. And next job, you see I've put that little block there is actually made of metal. That is nice and tight. This one's pretty tight. I'm going to nip it right up now, and I'm going to nip up the one inside as well, and then replace all the carpet and shit. Excuse my language. So once you've got this on, make sure you've got your earth wires on, and I suggest you put a little smear of grease will do, or if you don't want to get grease on there, put a tiny bit of Vaseline, and that will spread out and stop any corrosion on the earth point here, which is not that hard to get to, but you need to know where it is at least. Okay, there's a bit of Vaseline on there. You want your little dome nut on. This is 10mm of this nut. It's a dome nut. Okay, just nip him up, not too much. Okay, maybe I'll be better off having them wires in a different position to that. Put them out this way. That's it. I prefer the ring end of a spanner any time. Yeah, bits of foam rubber back there. Tuck all this back in. I'm going to have to put the phone down again. Another little thing. This is the bonnet pull. Bonnet pull goes on here. Okay. Now to release this bonnet pull, you can't see this when it's in, but if you know it's there, you'll be able to get it out. So it's in that way. Get your fingernail behind it, you feel for the slot, fingernail in there, and just pop it out like that, and it just comes out. When you go to put it back in, pop it back in the slot, push it home, I'll put the light up there, and you need to line up these little splines in there, and then it should just pop back on like that. Okay, and that's the bonnet pull done. It won't come off. And just to show you how to get that off, I can't quite get my fingernail behind there, so just hook something behind it. I've got a little hook here. What I do, is that out? Yeah, it's come out, I think. Or maybe he hasn't, I don't know. Let's get the hook there. So just gently it comes out, and then that pulls off like so. Okay. So to get it back on, you need to line up these splines with those splines. Okay. And that's the jobbed. About right time for my YouTube video. Okay, bye. Now if you want to, you can get your hinge painted. This is plated and shouldn't go rusty for a while, especially if in the presence of some sort of grease or lubricant. It doesn't need greasing very often. If you want it painted, paint it, but I'm not that bothered about having a shiny hinge. there, but you'll obviously have to etch prime it because it's plated. The only way you'll get paint to stick to this sort of plating is to etch primer it. So you need etch primer first, and then followed by the colour of your car, new as damn it, as you can get from the local parts store. Spray it, let it dry, and then put your hinge on. Okay, you might need to put on 2 or 3 coats as well of the colour, but this is metallic. I'm not bothered about painting it blue as long as my door don't fly open, and you know, when you're getting in and out, that's perfect. That's job, it all back together. Make sure my OBD is in there. Okay, just put the tools away now. Oh, I need to clean up this mucky bit down here. Yeah, dirt trap. Remember guys,